Governments around the world were tested in 2024, from heightened repression in Russia, India and Venezuela to catastrophic armed conflicts in Gaza, Sudan and Ukraine. Many governments have failed to protect human rights around the world. Even governments that advocate for human rights often overlooked abuses committed by their allies, allowing oppressive leaders off the hook. But this isn't a moment to step back. It's a moment for governments to fight and defend universal human rights and for people and civil society to hold them accountable. 2024 was marked by abusive armed conflicts and humanitarian crises. In Haiti, criminal groups coordinated large-scale attacks, killing thousands of people, recruiting children, and committing sexual violence against women and girls. In Gaza, Israeli authorities have committed ongoing unlawful attacks on Palestinians and deliberately deprived them of access to water, which is essential for human survival. The conflict in Sudan between the Sudanese armed forces and rapid support forces has resulted in widespread atrocities, including mass killings, sexual violence, and forced displacement. And in Ukraine, Russia continued its large-scale attacks on the country's energy grid, hospitals, and other infrastructure, killing and injuring many civilians. But against all odds, there were still those who dared to stand up for rights and resist oppression. In Bangladesh, student protests led to the resignation of long-time repressive leader Sheikh Hasina, and there is now an interim government in place that has promised reform. In South Korea, thousands took to the streets to protest President Yoon Suk-yeol's declaration of martial law, which the National Assembly overturned 6 hours later. The past year has also shown us what's possible when governments display bold leadership to protect human rights and bring justice. Sierra Leone and the Dominican Republic joined Luxembourg to champion a new treaty to strengthen the right to education to ensure free schooling at the pre-primary and secondary level of all children. And South Africa's case before the International Court of Justice alleging that Israel violated the Genocide Convention in Gaza led to multiple orders and increasing international pressure to protect civilians in Gaza. The uncertainties we face in 2025 and beyond to protect and uphold human rights will require persistence, conviction, and imagination. It will call for governments and leaders to resist efforts to roll back established human rights law and practices, and to protect the vital role of rights defenders and civil society groups working to protect those at greatest risk. When rights are protected, humanity flourishes. When they're denied, the cost is measured not in abstract principles, but in human lives. This is the challenge and the opportunity of our time.